Hi guys, my name is Chris Baratki. I'm 37 years old. I'm originally from Wisconsin. I've been a drug addict most of my life. I was a heroin addict. Um, Wanted to make this video, share my testimony, because everything that I have today is a result of the mercy and grace of Jesus Christ. Um, Today, I have joy and peace in my life when I was chained from my addiction. I literally was living in misery. Literally. I just didn't even know it because I had just become so accustomed to it. It was my everyday experience. I didn't know any different. Um, right before I came, I'm in Georgia now. That's where I eventually came to rehab here, a place that changed my life. Shortly before leaving, um, I had overdosed and came pretty close to death. Um, the people whose house I was at dragged my body out to the curb, and I was given Narcan. I don't know how many times. I used defibrillators to jumpstart my heart again. Oddly enough, didn't even come close to slowing me down. Um, that was sort of at the tail end of my addiction. Throughout my addiction, I lied, I stole, I manipulated people, especially women, just to get, what I wanted. Everyone around me wants a means to an end. And, you know, I was completely wrapped up in selfishness. Because at the end of the day, having an addiction is just living in selfishness. That's all you care about is yourself, not your partner, not your children, not anyone else. I used to, I told myself a lot of lies during that time. Mostly that was, enjoying the moment or living for the day. Or, I wasn't like everyone else because I didn't have the same goals and the same dreams as everyone else. I used to criticize other people for chasing a new car or, a nice house or whatever. But really, um, the truth is, I wouldn't be able to ever achieve those things because every penny I ever earned or went to drugs, plain and simple. And eventually, those lies that you tell yourself serve a purpose, to keep you going while you're in that state, while you're bound up in chains. It's like you tell yourself that you love the chains, in order to be okay and to take that next step forward. Because if you were brutally honest with yourself, you wouldn't be able to live like that. So telling those lies to yourself is really, all you can do. They say that addiction is a progressive disease, and I can testify to that fact. Really, as a kid, what started out as experimenting with drugs and, just getting out with my friends on the weekend or, whatever, just progressively got worse and worse. I used to smoke pot, smoke weed, and we take hydrocodone, take two of them, and I've heard this story countless times. I take two of them and get a little buzz, and then eventually those two Vicodin became Percocet, and like I said, I'm 37 years old, so that's those old Oxycontin 80s, the The blue ones, not the football-shaped ones that came out later. I'm old enough to remember the original ones. You know, for those who know what I'm talking about, at the end of the day, when your shirt looks like a rainbow because you took the coating off of 5 different color pills, you know, pink and canary yellow or whatever. And so, and eventually, OxyContin became so expensive and hard to support that you turn to heroin instead because it's cheaper and it works better. And you know, I remember clearly telling myself, you know, I would never shoot up. Um, you know, I would just do lines or whatever. And, you know, sure enough, all those things that you tell yourself you never do, you end up doing. Um, so um, basically, I want to tell y'all that guy's real only wants a relationship with me. I should have overdosed. I don't even know how many times. And for some reason, I'm still here. So I'm gonna bring me or tell y'all about what brought me to Georgia. I don't know why, but we're watching YouTube videos. I don't know who gets high and watches intervention clips, because that's what I was doing, is watching intervention. I guess in some weird way it allows you to, like, you know, you're clearly out, that's what you're watching intervention, so you're looking like, whoa, wow, at least I'm not there. You know, it's the craziness you tell yourself. But somehow, so through watching those clips, I saw an ad for, you know, like a 15-minute, basically an advertising promotional video for a rehab in Georgia came. And in the video, you know, there were men talking about opiate addiction, and I watched it, you know, and it just stuck with me. Um, I watched the whole thing. About a day or two. Yeah, the funny thing about that though is the video itself had a couple dozen views. I mean, I don't know what brought it to. You know, I know I was watching sort of intervention related stuff, um, but I mean the video had so little views and it wasn't local or anything. Um, but at any rate, I did see it, and about a day or two later is when you know, I called my family and I just told them I couldn't live like that anymore. I had just lost my job. Um, you know, I was just completely stuck. Um, you know, I guess it's, you know, as other addicts can attest, it's all good when you have, you know, the money. You're not thinking about it. You're not thinking about getting clean. You got $600 in your pocket. You know, so. But I had lost my job. I was just down and out, and I just was so weary and tired. You know, the old sick being sick age. But anyway, so I went down to Georgia, and said being a Yankee, as some of my friends say, it was very different. But I learned so much about myself, and about the Lord. Um, I grew up going to a Catholic school all my life, and you know, I thought that I knew who God was. I thought I knew Him, you know, but I didn't. I just had that religious spirit or whatever. Um, I only knew, um, you know, going to church on Sundays, and I just all that stuff. Um, and but it turns out I didn't know. I didn't have a relationship with him. I never talked to him. My prayer life was horrendous. You know, I just never did any of that. So, you know, I learned a lot of things, and I can, I'm going to talk more about those in future videos about different things I learned because they're all just important, and too much to delve into here. But I guess, um, you know, at the end of my time using, I had ruined every relationship in my life pretty much. Um, One of those things I used to look around and judge people who didn't have their kids with them. Um, I mean, I got divorced. I lost a few jobs, but after my divorce, I was using, and I lost touch with my son. And I used to look at people and think like, you love drugs more than your kids, and eventually, um, that's what happened to me. Not that I love drugs more than my kids, but I felt like that, entitled to my children, even though I was using. And well, the courts didn't agree with that, so um, I. But today now, um, I have 18 months clean. I'm going on 2 years coming up here. God hasn't repaired every relationship in my life completely, and he may never repair all the ones that I would like. But he has repaired and improved um, several important ones in my life. Ones that, you know, I managed to screw up. Um, but really, just through his grace and mercy, he's seen fit to restore that. So I know that I don't have decades clean. And I know some of y'all who may watch this might be like, who does he think he is? Well, turning your life over to the Lord isn't easy. There's a lot of questions that come with it. Questions I've walked through. Being in recovery isn't easy either. Um, Especially, making a transition from like an inpatient setting or a residential thing, to being on your own. Um, that's not easy either. And so I wanted to do something just as a result of that like, as I'm walking through some of these things myself or recently have, I can share that experience, because there's a lot of preachers out there, a lot of anointed people who have a lot of important stuff to say. Um, you know, and for some people, that's what they need. But like I said, I've run the gamut of crimes and just, all kinds of stuff that a lot of preachers may not have. And so, um, I know for me, I like to listen to people who have been there before, who know what they're talking about. Because there's nothing like, experience, that you can relate that to someone to help them. You know. So, if anyone has any questions, newfound Christian, or new in their recovery, if anybody, wants to talk about anything, you can put in the comment section, and I'll address it. I'm going to post in the description of the video my email address, or try to. I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I want to hear from you guys, and talk about what you want to talk about. or what I want to talk about. Either way, I appreciate you watching.